Things have changed. Entertainment is stagnant. If not just outright deceased for the most part at this point. Especially in the mainstream film industry. And the genre of horror is no exception.
You want your mask? Come and get it! You want to fucking kill someone? Take me!
Some may say that statement is over-exaggerated or a bit cynical. But I also am willing to assume if you clicked on this video, you may be one of those who are inclined to agree with me. After all, this video is a tribute and a celebration to one of the most reliable and recognizable pulses in the faintly beating heart of modern cinema. With their catalog of horror being no exception. I don't think many would argue that horror fans are among the most passionate and loyal fans celebrating their favorite media genre out there. In fact, I would say few other genre fans even celebrate. Horror fans and enthusiasts literally cannot get enough of the genre, nor the genre's thousands of subgenres.
The green from the sweater makes the eye pop, because I am.
Time and countless scenes of horror fiction mayhem have proven what us bloodthirsty and terror-seeking horror lovers crave. But all the same, so many of us wait with great anticipation what the next pioneering breath of new life will be for the great realm of horror. The familiar, fun, and nostalgic. But something you are not accustomed to seeing. Or when something may actually frighten you, the voluntary thrill seeker. Well, that may not only be cause to celebrate, but may bewitch us with the endearing sediment of originality and have you pondering and speaking about the nature of its unexpected habits for some time to come.
It's just really well crafted. So well crafted that sometimes you don't even notice.
I had a lot of anxiety going into the movie. It all takes place during daytime, which is something that is really admirable, that he was able to make a movie that was so effective and scary and have most of it take place during the day.
And then he got a Hollywood movie and he just went even darker.
I had nightmares for the first time in 30-something years over a horror film. That is awesome.
I had really bad anxiety towards like the middle of this movie. Specifically that scene. If you've seen it, you know what that scene is. And my jaw was on the floor for like 10 minutes.
After a scene was over, like a scene or two, I would just go, like, I really need to kind of catch my breath.
When familiarity becomes unpredictable. And while in an era that celebrates repetitiveness and mediocrity, a turn down a darker, less traversed hallway of uncertainty can be the alteration in entertainment that the brave and open-minded were looking for, with a payoff that is well worth the risk. But where to find such a thing? A24, who on the day this video was released is celebrating their 10-year anniversary, still going strong after already giving us an entire decade of fantastic, forward-thinking, and high-risk-taking films that deliver worthwhile movie experiences, almost one after the other. There is no other studio this close to the mainstream like that.
This is me. This is how I win.
And with the film distribution company this fearless and creative, as if it couldn't already get any better, A24 strides in horror.
now help me and I'll leave my sin. For I repentant now shall be. From evil I will turn to thee.
A24 is a blessing to horror fans that enjoy the genre when it encourages you to think for yourself, when it attacks you psychologically, and when it challenges you to continue watching further. The horror films of A24 are often mean, bleak, and hold no punches, and I, for one, applaud them for it with a standing ovation. A24 Horror is a love letter to horror fans that scratches an itch that other modern studios and distributors just can't seem to reach.
What I missed is, what do you think is on it?
I see one goddamn fucked up horror picture.
We have Daniel Katz, David Finkel, and John Hodges to thank for beginning A24, which launched on August 20th, 2012. The three had worked previously in both film and television, but had the vision to begin A24 to do exactly what they have been doing for the past 10 years, independently distributing film and TV that holds a high artistic and creative standard. Or as its creators would more modestly say, films with a distinctive point of view. Daniel Katz is responsible for the name of the company, who while traveling in Italy, was on his way to Rome via Highway 24, aka the Autostrada 24. Where Katz was suddenly inspired with what he called a moment of clarity, and knew it was time to begin the company. After being founded in 2012, the company would begin to release its first film in early 2013, beginning with Roman Coppola's A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swans III, with a modest limited theatrical release. And while more moderately acclaimed films would be released in their first year, including a second film by a Coppola family member, Sofia Coppola, with The Bling Ring. But it was the distributor's first thriller film that would turn a substantial amount of heads towards A24. Released in the US on March 22nd, 2013. Written and directed by Harmony Korine. A film titled Spring Breakers.
Spring break, bitches!
Now, while the film is not a horror movie, I feel it is an early exemplification of what the company's founders would see in their future horror distributions, from its dreamscape atmosphere that verges on nightmarish, to its somewhat incohesive continuity, forcing us to put all its pieces together ourselves. Its abstract and often non-linear way of telling a story that could otherwise be very easy to tell would become a staple in their later horror films. While the film is not A24's best, it certainly is worthy of your attention, which is what I am sure many surprised viewers were thinking to themselves back in 2013 when viewing the film for the first time.
Come on, y'all. Why acting suspicious?
The film's relatively simple crime premise is layered with thought-provoking questions and motives, with eloquently shot scenes boasting an artistic flair. Not to mention the surprise of the airheaded main characters being fully realized and fleshed out. The film has the ability to challenge our opinions and cause us to second-guess ourselves, much like the characters in the film do among themselves, making for an intriguing character study. Honestly, there is enough depth and commentary in Spring Breakers that it is deserving of its own video essay. The film would go on to make multiple best-of lists, both in 2013 as well as the 2010s as a whole, and was fortunately only the beginning.
Spring break. Spring break forever.
The darker elements of Spring Breakers, and its more psychological themes on fear, uncertainty, doubt, self-exploration, and both physical and mental survival, foreshadowed the ingredients that would be commonplace in A24's remarkable ability to spot films, a feat that other distributors spend their entire existences trying to find. And these same elements would lend themselves perfectly for their unique eye on the unsettling horizon of horror, giving A24 not only a reputation for releasing great movies, but for the releasing of great horror movies that would not only inspire, but define a generation.
Boo! There you are. Boo!
A24 horror movies have been a standard of modern horror for years now, providing us with nearly a decade's worth of one dramatic piece of terror, striking an unforgettable blow, one after the other. These horror movies being distributed through A24 are the bold, brave, and terrifying, thought-provoking, and original pieces of cinema that the genre has been lacking for years. They can be hard to stomach, hard to digest. They can get under your skin, and they are not for everybody. And that is exactly the point. During an era where film studios desire their films to be as accessible as possible and designed for a common consumer, A24 flips this trope on its head and then stands over it, laughing. A24 separates the scary moviegoer from the cinephile who loves or is willing to take on true horror. Their films are often a unique combination of horror elements and dramatic themes, making some of their scariest films come disguised in period pieces and family dramas.
Just fucking say it! Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother!
For me, it is reminiscent of horror during another era, a seemingly bygone one, when horror films could create shockwaves that would be felt for decades to come.
Little pigs.
Films like The Shining, Rosemary's Baby, Alien, and The Exorcist, who sit on high and seem untouchable,
Amen,
are now having the honor of having newer films being rightfully compared to them. Films like The Witch, It Comes at Night, Midsommar, and Hereditary. They pour deep analytical conversation from its viewers just as much as screams. When you fear history will no longer provide you with another scene like Alien's chestburster scene, being debuted to audiences all the way back in 1979, you are of course going to be caught off guard when a film nearly 50 years later would give moviegoers a similar reaction.
Are you okay?
It's hard to breathe.
What do you mean?
I think my throat's getting bigger.
Hereditary is a game changer and a modern masterpiece. And even after a truly intimidating trailer, not only is the movie not spoiled for us, but we are even tricked into believing one character's death is the cause for the grievance given throughout the trailer's runtime, when in fact, upon seeing the film, a twist is revealed, and it is in fact another character altogether that has caused the sorrow and that drives the narrative. For a film and its marketing to gamble our expectations like that is unheard of anymore, and would seem almost impossible to accomplish in 2018. But Hereditary did just that, helmed by a perfect collaboration between writer-director Ari Aster and A24's marketing, who also deserve a special thanks, and who is also unlike any other in the industry today. And every time a new film trailer is dropped by A24, it is unique, mysterious, a non-spoiler, and causes the A24 community to gather and celebrate. And not a single other horror film studio can boast such a claim.
Wanted.
Yeah.
Horror has also been blessed with the introduction of new filmmakers, such as the aforementioned Ari Aster, as well as Robert Eggers, and Trey Edward Schultz, to name a few, all who released their memorable debuts through A24, and have been running strong since. It's no wonder A24 has a unique connection with their fans, and has even gone on to sell merchandise, such as shirts, hats, mugs, and even umbrellas and more, proving the proud bond they share with their following fan base. Not enough can be said about the remarkable company, who has achieved more in 10 years than what many will do in a lifetime. They have struck their blow at a time when entertainment needed them the most, and fans could not be more excited to see where they go over the next 10 years. And I, for one, think that horror fans will benefit the most.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When you love a genre that can fall into a paint-by-numbers formula, it is incredible to know that there is still talent being found in the industry, art being explored, boundaries being broken, risks being taken, and trust being put into audiences.
Of course there is.
A24 is a true gift to cinema lovers, and speaking for both myself and most of you watching this tribute, we are truly thankful that it of course all comes wrapped in the contrasting beauty that is horror set to film.